Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You got to start the day off, or if you're listening to us live on our AM and FM affiliates, finish the day off with a celebration. Today is National Radio Day. And I missed that earlier. I can't believe I missed that on one of my earlier appearances today. National Radio Day. So, what is your preference? Is it AM radio, FM radio, satellite radio, or streaming? I didn't even know you could stream on the radio. So that, of course, I've got Josh here, so he's able to educate me on these things. Learning a lot. What's your favorite? AM, FM, satellite, or streaming? Now, I don't know. What is streaming? So, like, I like to listen to Amazon Music. Is that streaming? Or no, that okay. So I'm gonna have to learn that one now as well. So it's above my pay grade. I just sit here and talk. Got the smart people in the background. It's also National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day. How can you go wrong with pie, with chocolate, with pecans? I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not, but I would. Add a little whipped cream on top of that. Been talking a lot about pie in our household lately. It is an old wives' tale. I don't know whether it's true or not, but maybe you've heard of this one. Maybe you haven't. So a dear friend of ours shared that to help a pregnant woman move the process along at the end of pregnancy, hot cherry pie with vanilla ice cream. And it kind of gets the grand opening going a little sooner is the way I put it. Okay, so whether it works or not, I don't know that answer, but being that my son and daughter-in-law are at the hospital as we speak, we'll see what happens if that kind of pie works. Let's take a look and see. And obviously, we're not talking about 3.141414. That's a different pie day. Can't deal with that one at well. Let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down almost 50 points. S&P 500 is down 5. The NASDAQ is down 29.91 right now. Oil off 28 cents per barrel. And we're looking at a 10-year Treasury that's down almost 5 basis points, 3.827. That means we're probably going to see some better interest rates as the market comes about later in the day. Gas prices, $4.59, almost $4.60 here in the formerly Golden State. Second only to Hawaii at $4.66 a gallon. Everywhere else, I think, Washington, they're in the fours, $4.21 in Washington. But other than that, every other state in the union is under $4 a gallon. Thank you, regulations and taxes in the formerly Golden State. Which, ironically enough, you look at the gas prices, and I saw a news story this morning. The Port of Los Angeles, the Port of Long Beach, both of them, they're trying to go electric. But the electric is out in either one or both of those at various times in the last month. So maybe we don't want to quite go electric all that much yet. It's been hot here, so apparently maybe there's people like me. You know, I work out of my house sometimes, the office sometimes, studios sometimes. But when I'm home, I got the air conditioner set to 72. I am oversized. I get warm. I'm doing a radio broadcast, so I have to put on. I can't be nice and comfortable. Look, I mean, you can't see. Look at Josh in the background there. He's out there in Vegas. It's probably 150 degrees out there, or something like that. We're not. We complain about our temperature here, but I think we're just amateurs. I was on a call yesterday. Josh, you may not even like this one. I was on a call yesterday with a gentleman in Lake Mary, Florida. He said it was 110 with about 90% humidity. That's no fun. But, you know, we have here in Southern California, Josh, you get it most of the time. They call it dry heat. That means you sweat your tail off and they call it dry. I don't get how that works. It still seems hot to me. But I digress. $4.59, almost $4.60 a gallon on gasoline. And we want to get more gasoline, more electric here, get rid of the gas engines. And we don't have enough electricity for the air conditioners and to run the ports. Does that make sense to anybody?
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Yeah, that's about the way it works right there. Of course, I bet in the governor's mansion, they have plenty of electricity there. They might even have a backup. Wait, I wonder if they have a backup generator that's being fueled by gasoline. Probably. Who knows? Let's see what else is going on in the world right now. Yes, we've got the Democrat convention going on in Chicago. You know, I don't get this one. Somebody, maybe you could answer this for me. I just got to understand this. So the president and Kamala, they have an open border policy. They've let in 10 or 12 million illegal immigrants. By the way, just saw in the news last night, one of them is on the most wanted list in this country, being wanted, I think, Peru, for 23 murders, walked across our border, and our border patrol just let him go. But once again, I digress. So we've got this open border policy to bring in we brought in 12 million illegal immigrants. We love legal immigrants, but illegal immigrants. Yet outside the Democrat convention, they've got a vasectomy, a trailer where they'll do vasectomies and abortions. Now, if you want that many more Democrats, why are you doing free vasectomies and abortions? I don't understand that. Maybe somebody can help me with it, but I digress, and we'll get back to our home and finance topic when we get back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're going to also talk about the transition loan, one of my favorite products from our friends at Geneva Financial. It's a great program only for those people who do not want to be homeless. If you're worried about finding a new home, because there is still a shortage and you've got a house out there, the transition loan, really, really good program. What you should use your credit for. 8 smart purchases. We'll talk about that one. How to choose a great local real estate agent and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990 and every day at this time, OBMMI. I'm sorry, the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, again, talk to us. Geneva Financial, 800-306-1990 and every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They give us the number that you're going to put in the mortgage calculator to find out exactly what your monthly principal and interest payment would be. Again, if you don't have a mortgage calculator, ronismylender.com. ronismylender.com. Let's see what rates did yesterday. Conventional 30-year fixed, down 6.442. Jumbo 30-year fixed, up 6.915. FHA 30-year fixed, down 6.274. VA 30-year fixed, up 5.94. And the USDA loan 30-year fixed, generally no down payment in the rural areas, that was down to 6.342. Love it. If you want our commentary, our thoughts on the market, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. You can get our thoughts on the market. We put that out every morning free to you. Simple, single email. It is delivered about as early as we can get the data together to write it for you. Again, rsrmarketminute.com. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Let's see why the markets are doing what they're doing today. So right now, the S&P 500 is down 7.54. We also see that the 10-year Treasury is down 3 basis points, 3.84. Mortgage-backed securities, remember, the bond is different than the yield. So when the 10-year Treasury, that yield is down 3 basis points to 3.84, the mortgage-backed security bond right now is up 11 basis points. When the bond goes up, the rate goes down. That's where it is right now as we are recording. What does that mean for later in the day? Well, we're going to have to wait and see, and we'll figure that out a little later in the day when we see all the data that's coming out. So 10-year Treasury, again, we talked to you about that. Looking at the charts, there's the ample room for the bonds to move higher, which is good, for yields to move lower, which is good in the coming week, but it will depend on Fed Chair Powell's commentary at the Jackson Hole Symposium. All the leaders of the federal banks around the country, around the world, come to Jackson Hole and they get there. I wouldn't say what happens in Jackson Hole stays in Jackson Hole, but then again, do you think they're having a whole lot of fun? It's economists and attorneys. Leading Economic Index. Conference Board released their Leading Economic Index, which decreased in July by 0.6%, which was worse than the negative 0.3 expected. The index has been negative 27 out of the last 28 months and flat the other month. While the LEI continued to trend down, the LEI's long-term growth has become less negative, pointing to a slow recovery, according to the Conference Board. They predict that economic activity is likely to continue to lose momentum in the months ahead, and they expect U.S. GDP growth to fall down to 0.6% in the third quarter of the year and 1% in the fourth quarter. Mortgage affordability, this one's a fascinating number. Redfin states that the monthly mortgage payment is up 90%. 90% since the start of 2020. This is actually an improvement from 105% seen about 4 months ago. This does still point to affordability issues. However, incomes are rising to keep pace with the rise in mortgage rates. Median income is up 23% since the start of 2020, but it's important to remember that not all your income goes toward housing payments. Also, median income captures those that may not be in the home buying pool. So the number may be skewed a little bit. Something else to consider is 90% rise in mortgage payment isn't as bad when you compare it to more normal levels. From a more normal level, the average mortgage payment is closer to 46%. Bottom line, affordability has gotten worse, but it's not as bad as the media may claim. We'll be watching that. We also saw a report this morning that came out talking about homes that are valued over $1 million. That was a fascinating one. I kind of found that very interesting when I was looking at the chart here. 8.5%, 1 out of every 12 homes in the U.S. are now valued at $1 million or more. In 2014, it was under 2%. Under 2% of the homes. Now it's 8.5%. So if you're thinking about whether you should buy a home or not, maybe that answers the question for you. 2014, under 2%. 2024, 8.5%. That's a Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. So let's talk a little bit about Borrow Smart, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. The transition loan from Geneva Financial. One of my favorite products. Why is it a favorite product? When I consult with folks, a lot of times I hear one of the biggest concerns people have, especially in this market, they really are concerned about trying to sell their house because for one reason or another, they don't want to be homeless. What do I mean by homeless? Well, they're not going to list their house because they're worried, are they going to find something that they can afford, something that they like? And even more than finding something that affords something they like, are they going to find something that they can win the offer on? So we consulted with a client a couple of weeks ago. They have a house and they are looking at another one in the same neighborhood, just a different model, different configuration, a little bit bigger, growing family. And the concern is, well, what do we do if we sell the house that they're in? Well, if they sell the house they're in, it turns out that they made a very aggressive offer on the property that they liked, but they did not win the offer. Somebody else did. What would have happened if they had had their house on the market and had it sold? Now, yes, I know you can sell with a contingency, or you can put an offer in on a contingency, but when you're trying to win a bid on a new place and put there that you're contingent on the sale of something else, I don't know that the agents right now in this market in many parts of the country are going to be that excited about it. So what is the option? What is the alternative? Well, it's something called a transition loan. And let me give you a couple of definitions here before I explain it. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. You've got a departing property. That's where you live right now. And that's the property you're looking to sell if you find something better to move into. And you've got an acquisition property. That's where you want to move to. So the transition loan looks at the value of your departing property. It looks at the value of the acquisition. Add those together. Now you've got a amount of collateral, the total collateral for the loan. You have to take and multiply that times the loan to value, the amount that we'll give a loan for, that Geneva will give a loan for. So let's just say that the loan amount that they're willing to do is 65%. So if you've got two properties, each worth $1 million, you've got $2 million worth of collateral. Now you've got the total value. You take that times 65%. So that's going to be 1.3 million. And say you owe $250,000 on your departing property. That's what your mortgage is down to on your departing property, $250,000. So if you remember, I just said that you've got 1.3 million is what you're able to 1.3 million is what you're able to borrow. You're going to take off the 200,000. Now you can use 1.1 million to go and buy the acquisition. But it's only $1 million, Ron. Yeah, you got the money for closing costs and potentially even setting it up where you prepay your interest for 3 months so that the interest, so you don't have any payment on either property for 3 months. That gives you an opportunity to have your agent, a great agent. We're going to talk about how to find a great agent. In most instances, the easy way is give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll put you in touch. But the bottom line there is it's a way of you buying a piece of property and not having to worry about your departing. Now, one of the other benefits, a side benefit, is it might give you a little extra time for moving, right? I mean, you got what is it now? If you have to have the money from your departing property for the acquisition, you don't have any time. Now, we did put together a flyer for this, rsrlinks.com/transition, rsrlinks.com/transition. And you can actually get a flyer and see exactly how it works. It gives you the example scenario down along the bottom there on the bottom of the sheet. And it gives you a little bit more in the explanations. Does it cost money? Yes, of course it does. There are no free lunches, no matter what anybody wants to tell you. So it does cost money. You do have some points and fees because it is a new loan. But you're getting the property you want. Now, let me ask you this. If you're able to get, or your agent was able to get you a 1, 2, 3, 5% discount on the purchase property because you're a cash buyer, do you think that'll offset most of your costs or all of your costs? Probably. So your loan, it makes your acquisition a stronger offer because you've basically got cash. You can close in 10 to 12 days if everything is, all the cooperation is there. So the bottom line is the transition loan is a great alternative for a lot of people. rsrlinks.com/transition. You can find out about that program. Again, it's from our friends at Geneva Financial, Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. When we come back, what do I have here? What you should know or what you should use your credit card for, smart purchases, how to choose a local real estate agent, helpful negotiation tactics, and how to remove an ex-spouse from your credit report. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com, NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Helpful negotiation tactics for today's housing market. If you haven't already heard, home buyers are regaining some negotiating power in today's market. And while that doesn't make this a buyer's market, it does mean buyers are maybe able to ask for a little more. So sellers need to be ready for that possibility and know what they're willing to negotiate. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a house, here's a quick rundown of potential negotiations that may pop up during your transaction. That way, you're prepared no matter which side of the deal you're on. What can you negotiate? Did we do this yesterday, Josh? I think we might have done this yesterday. Okay, so let's skip this one. If you want to watch this, we'll go to our broadcast from yesterday. I didn't realize that we had this in the rundown for yesterday. But now that I look at it a little closer, let's take a look. Real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. How to choose a great local real estate agent. Do I need to go through the whole story? Call me, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, anywhere in the sound of my voice. And yes, I know we are on the World Wide Web. I can put you in touch with a great real estate agent. Selecting the right real estate agent can make a world of difference when buying or selling a home. But how do you find the best one? Here are some tips to help you make that big decision as you determine your partner in the process. Check their reputation. Start by gathering information about agents in your area. From there, try to narrow down the list. Ask the people you trust if they have someone they'd recommend. You'll want to find an agent with a strong online presence, plenty of positive reviews, and someone whose great reputation truly precedes them, as Freddie Mac explains, quote. You may want to look for a real estate agent who specializes in the type of home you're searching for. For example, if you're looking for an energy-efficient home, look for an agent who has experience with finding and negotiating offers for those homes. If you're looking for new construction, you'll want to find an agent who has experience with new construction and is not affiliated with the builder, unquote. That's fascinating. That's an article, that's a quote from Freddie Mac saying you don't want to find an agent that's affiliated with the builder. You want somebody that represents you. A great agent should have in-depth knowledge of what's happening at the national and local level. That way they can clear up any misconceptions sparked by what you're reading or hearing in the news. And they can tell you how your area compares to the national data. As an added perk, they'll also be able to be familiar with neighborhoods you're interested in and community amenities. As a recent article from Business Insider says, quote, spend some time talking with prospective agents about the local real estate market and how it could impact your purchase or sale. You want to get an understanding of how knowledgeable they are about local market conditions, whether they're helping you sell or buy. Their strategy for you should account for those conditions, unquote. Get a feel for their communication style and availability. Effective communication is key in real estate transactions. Choose an agent who listens to your needs, answers your questions quickly, and keeps you informed throughout the process. If an agent is juggling too many clients, they may not be able to give you the attention you deserve. You want someone who will be readily available and responsive. So, what's the best way to get the feel for their communication style and preferences? Bankrate offers this advice, quote, interviews also give you a chance to find out the agent's preferred method of communication and their availability. For example, if you're most comfortable texting and expecting to visit homes after work hours during the week, you'll want an agent who's happy to do the same, unquote. Trust your gut. Lastly, rely on your instincts. If you feel like you do or don't click with one of the agents you're talking to, that matters. Choose an agent you feel at ease with who inspires confidence. The right agent should be someone you trust to guide you through one of the most significant transactions of your life. As Business Insider says, quote, as long as you've properly vetted the agents you're considering and ensured they have the necessary expertise, it's okay to go with your gut. Maybe you have a better rapport with one of the agents you're considering, or you just feel like they're easier to approach. You're going to be working closely with this person, so it's important to choose an agent you're comfortable with, unquote. Bottom line, these tips, you can pick an agent who will provide the support and expertise you need to help make the process as smooth as possible. It'd be an honor to give you the right names of people to help you. Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Remember the bottom line, though. The bottom line on a lot of this is the bottom line. I'm going to share with you that if you're selling your house, what's more important to you? An agent that's got tremendous expertise, reputation, success, experience, or somebody you like, somebody that you're going to the bar with. Now, if your agent can get you a lot of extra money, you can go to the bar as much as you want. Just throwing that out there for you. So you might want to do have a column or a spreadsheet. Yes, I am a tech nerd. Have a spreadsheet of questions you want to ask. If you're listing your house, what's your average days on market? Now, I know you probably don't even know what that means. Most people don't. Why would you? It means how long it takes the agent to sell properties. What's the average days on the market in your area? Well, you can find that out by going to rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. That'll tell you the average days on the market. Your agent should be able to tell you what their average is. What is their ratio of sale price to list price if you're looking at selling your house? Ratio of sale price to list price if you're selling your house. Do they sell for above listing? Do they sell below listing? Both could be good. It's just how they use the strategy. I prefer them to be above list price. Why? Because that means they're pricing more aggressively. When they're pricing more aggressively, then there's more bidding wars. That's how it got to be above the list price. When there's more bidding wars, then you have the better opportunity of getting in there where there's less costs to you. Because if you've got multiple bidders and the winning bid says, well, I've got this request for repairs, you can say, okay, well, I'm selling as is. If you're not happy, I understand that. Let me just go to backup offer number one. That's the same reason. And I know that I've got a friend that does not always like this concept. I saw him share it on social media yesterday. I'm a big proponent. If you're selling your house, sell at what they call the 7% technique. You're going to pay your listing agent 3% and the buyer's agent 4%. Why? Because I want every buyer's agent to be competing. I want them to bring every single person they know that is likely to buy a property like yours. I want them all to be brought there. Just throw that out there for you. So think about those strategies if you want more. Well, if you want, selling your house, very, very simple. rsrlinks.com/salesmax. rsrlinks.com/salesmax. And that'll show you a few strategies on how to maximize the sales price of your property. rsrlinks.com/salesprice. And obviously, if you're looking at selling your house, you want the home seller's guide. rsrhsg.com. rsrhsg.com. Get the home seller's guide. It's free. We update it every quarter. So make sure you're looking at that one as well, as always. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, let's see if I can find stories that we didn't do yesterday. How to remove an ex-spouse from your credit report. We'll talk about it. What you should use your credit card for. 8 smart purchases. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air. Number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by RSR Debtfree.com, RSRDebtFree.com. How to remove an ex-spouse from your credit report. According to U.S. News and World Report, 66% of divorced people had shared debt with their ex-spouse. This can complicate financial situations as both parties are still liable for the debt even after divorce. If you had joint accounts during your marriage, your ex-spouse's information will remain on your credit report for up to 10 years after you pay off the balance and close the account. However, if you can't pay the account in full, you have other options for eliminating shared accounts. Let's see. We're going to keep some takeaways here. Close joint accounts that you shared with your ex-spouse if you can't afford them. Transfer the balances to individual credit cards if you can't afford to pay them off. If you're an authorized user on your ex's card or vice versa, call the credit card issuer to request removal. Take steps to rebuild your credit after divorce, such as keeping credit utilization low, making on-time payments, and getting extra help from credit repair services if you need. Remember, pay your credit card bills the right way for FICO scoring purposes. RSRCCpayment.com, RSRCCpayment.com. So your ex-spouse's name appears on your credit report because you took on shared debt during your marriage. When a couple gets a joint loan, both of the individuals' names are listed on the loan agreement, and payment information appears on both credit reports, supposedly. The responsibility of repaying the debt is usually shared between both individuals, especially in California. Examples of shared debt include taking out a joint mortgage loan to purchase property, co-signing an auto loan to purchase a car, shared credit cards, personal loans where you both were co-borrowers. So how do I separate my credit from my husband or wife after a divorce? There are a few different strategies for dealing with shared debt after divorce and separating your credit from your ex-spouse. Set up an individual account if you have got joint accounts. We talked about that a little bit. Transferred shared balances. Make sure you do some research on cards that will accept these shared transfers. A lot of them, they'll give you a 12 or 18-month interest-free to do that. Remember to remove that authorized status. We talked about that. Close shared accounts. Generally, you need to close shared accounts in order to remove your ex-spouse from your credit report. If you leave the account open, you and your ex's finances will continue to be linked, and your credit could get damaged if they miss a payment. If you're using a credit card that earns rewards, remember to redeem your points before closing the account. Once joint credit cards are closed, notify your creditor that you're going through a divorce and consider requesting individual cards. As a final step, check that your credit report accurately reflects the closure. Note that after you close the account, it can take up to 10 years for the account to fall off your credit report. Monitor your credit, cleanall3.com. Monitor your credit at cleanall3.com. Transfer the balances. If you cannot afford to pay the account in full to close it, another option is for you and your ex-spouse to both open new personal balance transfer credit cards. Then you can divide up your debts and transfer the balance to your new individual cards. Once the entire balance is transferred from the joint account, you can close it. Remove your ex as an authorized user. If your ex-spouse is an authorized user on your credit card account that you're the primary card holder of, you can call your issuer to have them removed. Once removed, they can no longer use the card to make purchases. Alternatively, if you're the authorized user and your ex-spouse is the primary card holder, you can remove yourself as an authorized user. Typically, this doesn't require any help from the primary card holder, and you can call the credit card issuer's customer service line to request your removal. Now, remember, that could help or hinder your FICO scores as well, because it might affect the duration, the length that you've had credit, the history, the utilization. All those things can be affected. How to improve your credit score after divorce? Well, the divorce can affect your credit in more ways than one, often leading to less income, one-sided non-payments, and lower credit limits, all of which can negatively impact your credit score. Luckily, you can take these steps to rebuild your credit after divorce. Monitor your credit. Again, cleanall3.com. After divorce, it's important to regularly check your credit reports and credit score for errors or discrepancies. especially as you make changes to your accounts. Close joint accounts. As I mentioned earlier, you should close any joint accounts that you have with your ex-spouse so your credit doesn't continue to be linked. Keep balances low. I shared with you rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. When your joint account goes from 2 people to 1, the issuer may reduce the credit limit, affecting your credit utilization. As a result, you should aim to keep your balances low in order to keep your credit utilization ratio under 30%. Repay debt on time. Late payments have a major negative impact on your credit score, so it's important to stick to a monthly budget to make payments on time. Consider credit repair services. Working with a company, credit repair company, to help you deal with financial issues. Credit repair after divorce can help you identify shared accounts, monitor your credit report, and dispute errors with the bureaus. Blue Water Credit is our favorite go-to source. rsrlinks.com/BWC. rsrlinks.com/BWC. That is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. rsrdebtfree.com. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by RSR Home Select. It's the best loan program out there. If you qualify, it is not the easiest loan program to get. You have to have good credit. You have to have income. You have to have equity in your property. And you want to pay off your property quickly. What should you use for your credit card? Let's look at some smart payment things. If you're smart purchases, if you're trying to stick to a budget, but still want to build your credit, you've likely wondered what you should use your credit card for. While you can use your credit card to pay for just about everything you buy, some purchases are more beneficial to your credit health than others. So let's take a look at 8 smart purchases you can make with your credit card. Many credit card offers rewards like miles or cash back on purchases, and the more you use your card, the more you can maximize. Only charging what you can afford to pay in full each month will help you avoid paying interest on your purchases. Keeping your credit utilization ratio below 30%, rsrccpayment.com. We're going to talk to you about that one. So what should you buy with your credit card? While you purchase almost anything on your card, doing so may not always be in your best interest. Here are a few things you should consider buying with your credit cards. Number 1, cash back purchases. If you have a cash back rewards card that earns a flat rate on most purchases, using that card to buy things like groceries, meals away from home, and other daily expenses may be a good choice. You'll earn cash back on each purchase you make. Other credit card issuers offer additional cash back rewards on certain types of purchases. The rewards categories can stay the same each month or change depending upon your card, but often include purchases like gas, groceries, and certain online retailers. By making purchases that fall under your rewards cards categories, you'll increase the amount of cash you earn. Maximizing your cash back rewards will help you earn money that you can use to pay down your balance or cash in for certain rewards. As an added bonus, regularly using your card can help you fix your credit over time. Number 2, travel expenses. If you're planning a trip, using your credit card to pay your travel-related expenses like hotel stays, airfare, car rentals, and more can be a good option, especially if you have a travel rewards credit card. These rewards credit cards let you earn points or miles on the purchases you make, and in many cases, you'll earn more rewards if you're using your card to pay for travel-related purchases. Even better, most travel rewards cards offer extra benefits like travel insurance, overseas purchase protection, and access to airport lounges. Every travel rewards card is different, so familiarize yourself with the rewards and perks you could earn with your card before making purchases. Number 3, appliances and electronics. Using your credit card to buy big-ticket items like home electronics and appliances can be a great idea. Those more expensive items often mean you'll earn more points or rewards. You may even qualify for additional purchase protection on those big-ticket items through your credit card issuer. If anything goes wrong with the item, you may get a refund or a replacement. Keep in mind that some electronics and appliance retailers offer their own credit cards with additional perks. You may want to consider applying for a second credit card through them if you're planning on purchasing a new appliance or device. Number 4, online purchases. Using a credit card to make purchases online can give you added peace of mind. Credit cards typically offer purchase protection and fraud protection for online purchases, while debit cards and gift cards may not. If a hacker or would-be thief intercepts your personal information, your credit card's fraud protection will ensure that you're not responsible for any unauthorized charges. That said, it's still a good idea to use a credit monitoring app to make sure your information is safe. Cleanall3.com. Streaming services. Using your credit card for recurring expenses like streaming services, subscriptions can be a great way to build your credit while keeping your credit utilization ratio low. These services are typically inexpensive and easy to pay off in full each month. That means you'll be better able to avoid carrying a balance on your credit card and won't have to worry about paying interest on what you charge. You may want to sign up for an auto pay for the streaming service. This will help you maintain an on-time payment history while still earning credit card rewards. Number 6, groceries. Some credit card providers offer additional benefits for credit card purchases made at grocery stores. Remember, pay it off in full each month. Number 7 is gas. Using your credit card can also give you access to additional rewards. Some cards have rotating bonus rewards categories that include gas stations, while other issuers offer cards that always give cashback rewards for purchases made at gas stations. And since your gas you use typically predictable month to month, it's easy to include in your monthly budget and pay off the purchases with an auto pay. Again, rsrccpayment.com. When should you avoid using a credit card? When a merchant charges credit card fees. Stop going to a restaurant because they started charging credit card fees. When the purchase would raise your utilization rate above 30%. When a purchase is too expensive to pay off before accruing interest. Use your credit card wisely to build your credit. Remember, that's why we put that on the, I tell you, at least once a week, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. And as always, I ask that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people. And have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time, Ron Siegel Radio.